Hey everyone, Eezore here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about workshops and how they work and what's so great about them in the game Fallout 76. Now if you enjoy video game related content, that's kind of what I make, so consider subscribing. Now first things first, workshops play kind of like a resource generator in this game. So basically what they do is you are able to capture them, and when you capture them you are able to build around them immediately and kind of have access to whatever resources they are. There are, I think, 20-something. I think 22 is the total. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less, but in the end, there's quite a few of them all over the map, and they all kind of play a little bit differently. There are some unique ones, kind of like the one I'm standing in, which I'll explain a little bit later, but for the most part, they all kind of play the same way. Basically, what you do first off is once you find it, you'll usually get a quest called Claim the Workshop at whatever location you're at. Like right now, I have Claim Workshop at Converted Munitions Factory. Once you start it, it's kind of like an event where you have to end up clearing out all the enemies for it, and once you do that, it'll actually end up saying you have to claim the actual workshop itself. Now, the enemies can be a little bit of anything. I've fought mole rats before, super mutants are pretty common actually, ghouls sometimes are there, not usually ghouls. Definitely I'd say super mutants as well as scorched are the most common enemy types that I have to take over workshops from. Now again, once you kill everything, you'll have to end up actually claiming the workshop itself. This does cost caps. However, you get caps for actually clearing out the enemies itself. You usually get about 20 to 40, depending on what it is. In order to take over the workshop, like I said, it does cost caps, but it depends on how many things are built in the area. If you have a lot of things that are built around the area, I've had some times where I've had to pay 100 caps in order to take something over. This one, for example, is 32. There's a few things built already, so that's kind of why that's so high. Now once you start claiming it, as you see here, this little thing will start raising. It'll put you in PvP, so if there's anyone in the area, they can actually attack you without any worry about... I think they can hit you for full damage. I'm a little unsure. I've only done it like once or twice where I've seen people had it and we started fighting over it. But it really basically just comes down to you have to stay in the area, and if someone goes in that little green circle, then it becomes disputed, and you kind of have to have one person leave or die or whatever. So now once you actually claim it, you do get a couple of rewards. Usually it's some random junk, but you will always get a plan. This is one of the reasons why I like this so much, not so much for the plans, but really kind of the random junk, but also the fact that you can get a lot of really good materials. Like I get a lot of stim packs and purified water from taking these over, so that alone is almost always worth it. Now once you take it over, as you see, there's a repair function. All of the items here, all of the materials, they are all provided by the workshop. They give you a few to begin with. You do actually, you are able to access your own inventory and expand it even more. So like, I can only have a couple of things here built from what the resources were at first. But once you access your stash, you are able to do everything else. So there will be some items here that require power. As you see, this one requires about 20 units of power in order to actually do anything. So you do need to throw down some generators. Obviously, the better generators you have, the fewer you need for this. I really wish I had the best generator. If you know where to find the best generator plans, by all means, if it's a guaranteed drop, let me know, because I'm definitely looking for the generator plans, and I haven't seen those anywhere yet. You do need a power, just like with Fallout 4, you need to send electricity things. On the Xbox, it's Y, where you attach the wire there. Just make sure to have it. It can't be, interacting with anything. So like this one, there's something that is in between that wall there, so it just doesn't go through. But once it's through there and it's powered, you'll end up seeing it. It'll start activating. Now this one is unique in the fact that you can actually make ammo with it. Again, I'll go into this a little bit later, but that's kind of what I'm doing here as well. That's why I enjoy this one so much. This is one of my favorite ones. But there are other ones out there that do. I think there's one that produces food that doesn't decay, like packaged food, like Blanco mac and cheese or Yum Yum deviled eggs. I can't think of the rest of them, but regardless. There's that. What I'm doing here is I'm actually end up putting out the collectors, which are what you need ahead to do. It's under the resource tab. These are all pre-planned ones that you start off with in the game. Again, you need to have these have power, and you need to have them on specific piles. So for example, that was a junk pile, which I put a junk collector on, so it's going to just randomly give me junk every hour. I think it provides 25 spare junk parts, which is pretty huge because you can get literally any kind of junk. So if there's one in particular you're looking for, it's kind of annoying if you need like that one specifically, like for example screws. I actually have a video on how to get loose screws really easily, as well as springs, so make sure to check that out. I'll have a link in the upper right hand corner, just going over to that. So one thing I need a lot of is I need a lot of lead, because I make a lot of ammo, just because a lot of things take a lot of bullets nowadays, but that's why I'm putting this second one here. So once you have them, just make sure they're powered again with the wires and everything like that, and then you're good to go. They'll set up, they'll automatically keep going, and they'll just kind of do their thing. So you will occasionally think it's about, on average, once per hour, you end up having an event where you have to defend your actual workshop. This is just going to be a couple of waves, anywhere from 1 to 4 waves of enemies, and it's, again, completely random. So again, as you saw, I killed the super mutants to take this one over. However, once I started doing it and I had to defend this thing, I actually started getting attacked by wolves, and these were pretty high level wolves. So it was level 10 super mutants, which were super easy to kill, like one shot from the shotgun, everything's dead. These wolves, I think, took me 20 minutes to kill because there was so many of them. Not because they took so much damage, but just because they were level 50 and level 40, and there was just probably about 15 to 20 per wave, so they just kept coming. Now again, I don't have very high level turret stuff, so I do need to find more of those, but you can place turrets down to help with the defense. They're obviously very weak, the ones that you start off with, but all you have to do is just kind of keep an eye on that. I have seen some that have really good setups, and you can get really clever with all the locations. Turrets are usually pretty good about doing stuff, but they generally don't last long, especially the level 4 ones, so just kind of keep an eye on that. All this is how you use the workshops. Why should you care? And the biggest reasons that I've found to care are primarily just for the fact that you can get the resources from them. There are a lot of ones that give you food and water. There's also a couple that give you aluminum, is very, very important. Junk is super huge, because obviously that's how you build everything, so there's a couple of ones that are really good for that. But also, like I said, the ones that are unique, like this one will make ammo, so that's why it's so important, is that it just gives you free ammo. I think it makes up to 125 bullets per hour. So if you control this one, if you're in the area, definitely take it over and just start pumping out bullets, and you'll save so much money. It's ridiculous how awesome it is. Now another thing too is that there are some other ones. Some create fusion cores, so you're able to stay in power armor obviously forever. But also there are some that make the food, like I was talking about, that doesn't spoil. So yeah, once you're all done defending the area, you do get another quest reward, just like the first time around. So again, you get, I don't think you get caps for defending it, but you do get a whole bunch of experience, as well as, again, some random items, as well as you're guaranteed to get a plant off of it. So as you see here, I got 3 stim packs, as well as some purified water from that one, and a plan. So it's generally almost always worth it to do that. Another big benefit for the taking over the workshops is that you can actually fast travel to them for free. So if you own 4 or 5, you can jump all around the world in order to do it. So you don't have to worry about paying caps every time you have to go back. So what I generally do is I have my camp sit down somewhere. I'll take over 2 in particular, and then once those are both taken over, then I'll run around and play, and then I'll just go back and defend them whenever I need to. But they're both kind of on the opposite ends of the map, so that way I can travel to each one for free, and then kind of travel to the surrounding area for cheaper. So alright, so I'm going to show you where all the locations are. Here's Vault 76. If you go to the northwest, there's going to be the Tyler County Dirt Track. You can kind of see, once you have it unlocked, what all is all there and everything like that, so you can see what you can all make out of it. So again, if you go down south, this is going to be right next to the first area, Flatwoods. It's going to be Sunshine Meadows Industrial Farm. This is the actual one that can package the food, make the packaged food. And well, it's a pretty good spot overall. You get a lot of food from that one. I don't find food overly difficult to find, so it's not a big deal for me. But the packaged food is kind of huge on that one. If you follow this down, you'll find the Billings Homestead. This one's nothing too special. Again, some food, some water, crystals, stuff like that, but ultimately not that great. The power plants are pretty big. These are where you get all your fusion cores. There's 3 power plants total, and each one can create fusion cores. They all also have nuclear waste, so watch for that. Big thing about that is that you have to power each of the plants in order to be able to do that, and it takes about 100 power, so it does take a lot in order to be able to do that. And directly east of that is going to be the Wade Airport. I like this one just for the simple fact of it's almost always filled with super mutants, and those are my favorite enemies just to kill because they usually drop some good stuff. So Charleston Landfill. This This is the most important one in my eyes for junk, and I'll explain that here a little bit later too, but this is a very big one. It's also right next to the story quest in order to get inoculated, so definitely pick that one up because it's really important if you're looking to get specific junk parts. Directly south of that's going to be the Mount Blair. With Mount Blair, this one you have to take over the actual machine itself, and then it creates ore. I haven't actually taken it over and activated it, but I have obviously unlocked it, so I'm not too sure what that happens. If you know what's going on with that, go ahead and explain that in the comments down below, or else I'll get down there when I go ahead and take it over again. Berkeley mine exhibit is going to be southwest of that. Nothing too special on that one. You do get the quest miners. You do get a quest in order to be able to build excavator power armor, so definitely check that one out. I have a video for that too if you check on the upper right there. This is going to be kind of east of that spot in this little spiky area. It's the Federal Reserve dumping grounds. As you see, it's claimed by someone else. This is where you want to go in order to get any nuclear material. It has a lot of spots for it, so it's really good there. Spruce Knob. This one was pretty uneventful. It's got a lot of gold outputs, but there's no real point in my eyes for gold besides just selling it because I haven't really found a use for it yet. So. If you go north, this is going to be kind of northeast of the Wade airports. I missed it the first time just because it went on the map, but if you look at it, it's the Lakeside Cabins. It's got a little bit of everything. Nothing too special on this one again. This one was pretty easily defendable, so keep that in mind. It's a good one just to kind of be a center of attention so you can go wherever you'd like to for cheaper. Here's another power plant. This one too makes the power cores, so the fusion cores I mean, so just kind of watch for those. Whenever I see food 8 and water 9, that means that you get whatever the number is. That's how many you can generally get, like locations to get stuff. So the more, the better it is. So now this is the Gorge Junkyard. This one also is very good, but just for a couple of different reasons. It's only got the one junk piece. However, it does have a power armor station built into it already. At least the one that I was at did. So definitely a great one to get. It's very easily defendable and kind of in a center location, so it's a pretty good one overall. Now if you go northeast of the airport that you have to go through in order for the main quest, you will end up finding the Grafton steel mill, or the steel yard I mean. This one's again got a lot of steel output. You can actually power up 2 different sections and get, I think it's, I want to say 200 pieces of steel an hour. So if you really need steel scrap, that's where you want to go. This one's Hemlock Holes. It's in the north part of the map. Nothing too special on this one. I actually really didn't like this one all that much, but that's where that location is. So now this is going to be one of the best ones here. So as you keep going north from the power plants, and then it's going to be east of the Palace of the Winding Path. This one's going to be the Munitions Factory. This is so big because it has the junk, the aluminum, the lead, the oil, and the ammo. Like, oh, it's such a great one. I love this one so much. I'll teach you how to use it after this. Southeast of that's going to be the Red Rocket Mega Stop. This one's pretty good. I like that one in general. There was a lot of enemies there, and it was fun. I like that area, actually. It was really cool. This is going to be the last power plant, which is going to be southeast of that one. The Mega Stop, which is going to, again, have the fusion core, the nuclear material, everything like that. And if you go southwest of that, it's going to be the Dolly Sods Campgrounds. Now, it only says 2 things on here, but it actually has a total of a couple more. I found a wood spot that I could create wood on, so make sure to check that out. And if you go southwest of that one, it's going to be the Berkeley Springs West. This one was pretty uneventful again. It was really nice and easily defendable, but other than that, really nothing too great on there. The Dabney Homestead. This one was a pretty good one overall for like location-wise and for easily defendable. So I like this one to have, but I didn't really do that much for questing over here, so I didn't feel the need to always have it. The Abandoned Bog Town. Again, if you need concrete, this one's good, but otherwise it's kind of wide open. Really not that great overall. So that's about all I got for the locations. That was all of them. The Munitions Factory. Like I said, this is by far the best one, and that's just because you can make the ammo for it. I use shotgun shells, which require plastic as well as lead, gunpowder, everything like that, so I always have this thing pumping out shotgun shells like non-stop because it's my most damaging weapon. You can make whatever you want. All you have to do is, once it's powered up, go to the little terminal here and just choose whichever you'd like to do. You can't make, obviously, mini nukes, but other than that, you can make anything else, and like I said, it just pumps out non-stop ammo control. So definitely check this place out if you're looking for ammo. I generally will always end up starting and ending my playthrough here just because I can take it over right away when I start, and then once I play for an hour, go back, get ammo, and then keep going. This one is probably the most disputed one in the fact that just about everybody's always going after it, so just kind of watch for that. There's usually, I think I've seen one person here almost every time I've played, so just be wary of that. Now, once you claim something, it'll say that you own it. You can still take over other people's stuff, but what'll happen is once you start doing it, it takes a lot longer. It generally takes about 10 seconds to take it over. When someone else owns it, it takes about 2 minutes to take it over because you have to unclaim it from them, and then you start claiming it yourself. It's kind of unfair because I had one time where I took something over from somebody. They took over my scrapyard, and then I took it back from them because I had a quest to do so. And when I was doing it, all of the turrets kept attacking me, but I just sat there in power armor, and I took little to no damage the whole time, so it was kind of cheap. So I think they have to kind of work that particular part out because you can still use stim packs when you're fighting other people and all that stuff, and you technically play for PvP, but I don't know. I didn't think it was anything special. I generally try not to take other people's platforms except for this one, obviously, because I need that. I need the ammunition. But that's about all there is. Like I said, this one's there's a lot of things to workshop, so hopefully I explained it pretty well. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. I'll answer it the best I can. There's so much to these things. A lot of people are complaining about it because of the fact that they think it's kind of useless and it's a mechanic that, oh, there's so much time and effort that required to go into it. But I think it's actually pretty ingenious because you need to kind of you need to go out of your way to do it, but the rewards are well worth it. So in my eyes, it's almost always worth getting 1 or 2 just to kind of always have in that. Like, for example, the ammo one. The ammo one's a great example of just always being able to pick up ammo. But what do you think? Do you think they're worthwhile, or they still got a couple of kinks in them? So let me know that in the comments below as well. That's about all I got, though. So if you found the video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. Otherwise, till next time, guys, I've been Eezore. Keep your story going.